Hello and welcome to our channel. In this video, we will be talking about some more advanced concepts in SQL. We will be talking about foreign keys and transactions and how we can use them together to build a flawless database system. Let's go to our pgadmin applications and we will create a database here named bank. We'll save it and we will select the bank here and we'll open the query tool. Now let's say the bank database consists of two tables. One table will be for customers and another table will be for transactions. Let's create the tables first. Now this customer table will have a column account number, which will be integer, and primary key. The primary key will make each row unique. We'll add another column, let's say name, which will be varchar and 30, which will store the name of the customers. And we will write another column, let's say balance, that will be of type float. Now another table will be for transaction. We will add here transaction ID, which will be integer, and it will be also a primary key. Now we will add another column here from account, which will show us the account that transferred the amount. Now this will be also of type integer. Now here comes the use of foreign keys. The values in this from account field should also be present in the customers table account number. So we can create a reference to these values. For that we can use references keyword and we will give the table name and the column which we want to reference. Now this from account has become a foreign key that references to the customers table account number column. Similarly, we will create another column for to account where the funds has been transferred. We will add another column, let's say amount, which will be of float, which will give us the amount that was being transferred. Let's run these two and the tables are created. Let's insert values into the customers table. We'll do insert into customers values and then we'll insert two customers here. One is the account number. Let's give it a name, let's say Tom, and a starting balance of let's say 400. We will add another customer with account number 2. We'll name it Jerry and a starting balance of rupees 600. I'll close this. We'll select this thing and run. Now it says us that it has given us two inserts. We can check the data here by using the select statement. Select star from customers and we will run this. Now it gives us the data that has been inserted. I'll just copy this and paste here for reference. I'll write it here as customers. Alright, we can also do the same for transaction. We will run it and it should be empty as we expect. Let's say Tom wants to send rupees 200 to Jerry. Now this will involve 3 steps: deducting rupees 200 from Tom's account, adding rupees 200 to Jerry's account, and inserting this transaction in the transaction table. So let's start by the first step, where we will deduct the balance from Tom's account. For that we will do update customers set balance equal to balance minus 200, since Jerry is transferring, where account number is equal to 1. Similarly, we will add balance to account number 2, which is Jerry. And in the third step, we will do an insert to the transaction table. Insert into transactions values. Let's say it has the transaction ID 1, from account will be 1, to account will be 2, and the amount is rupees 200. And we will run these queries. It's like this, and we will execute the script. It gives us update 1. We'll execute this update 1, and we'll execute this. It gives us an insert. We can check the data. We'll run this one, and we can see that the balance in Tom has been reduced to 200. Earlier it was rupees 400, and Jerry's balance has been increased to rupees 800. Earlier it was 600. Let me copy this table also. We'll write here first transaction and paste the table here. We can also check the transactions table now, and it gives us a transaction. So far everything is correct. Now let's do another scenario. We will first copy this, and let's say we do a second transaction. We'll paste it here. Now let's say Jerry wants to give rupees 200 or rupees 300 to a person named Harry, which has account number 3. We'll change this to 3. Account number 2 will transfer rupees 300 to account number 3. Now this may be a mismatch where the person doesn't know if the customer exists in a bank or not, or maybe a person has given a wrong account number. We'll put a transaction also here. We'll give here 2 to 3, and the balance is 300. Let's try to run this one by one. We'll select this and run, and it gives us an update. We'll run this. This also ran successfully, but it shows us update 0. Let's run this too, and we got an error. Here comes the use of primary key. It says that transaction 1 already exists, and it violates unique constraint transaction underscore primary key. We'll correct this by adding a new transaction ID 2, and we'll run this again, and we get an error again. Now the functionality of foreign key comes into play. Now this whole line reads that account number 3 is not present in the customers table, so it has not allowed us to update or insert anything into the transaction table. But if we check in the customers table, let me run this, it shows me that Jerry's balance has been reduced to rupees 500, but the amount has not been transferred to anyone. The Tom's account still shows rupees 200. We can check the transaction table also. It shows us no transaction. Let us first correct this mistake. We will insert a customer in the customers table with the account number 3. Name will be Harry and give it a balance of rupees 700. Alright, now we will run this. Now it has the value inserted. We can run the transaction again. Alright, now let us check the data. We will check the customers table. So now Jerry has balance 500 reduced and Harry has the balance rupees 700. We can check the transaction table also. We'll play this and we have a transaction here. Now we manually corrected all this error. Here comes the role of transaction. It bundles multiple steps into a single all or nothing operations. And if some failure occurs that prevent the transaction from completing, then none of the steps affect the database at all. Let me copy this first. And I will paste it here. This will be the third transaction. And let's say Tom again transfers rupees 100 to a person with account number 4. We'll create a transaction here. We'll give it a transaction ID 3. The balance is transferred from account 1 to account 4 and the amount is 100. Now before executing, we'll put this whole code block inside begin and end it with commit. Now begin stays the starting of a transaction. We'll run this first and then we'll run an update. Alright, it has updated the table. We will run the update again to add the balance and it gives us 0 update. Now we should get an error here since customer 4 or the account number 4 does not exist. Now this is the error which says that foreign key is violated. Now instead of doing manual corrections, we can just commit it. Now it says rollback. What it does is it undoes all the operations that were inside this begin and commit if one transaction goes wrong. If we check the data again, we will see that no changes have taken place. We'll run this first. The balance is all good and we don't see any transactions here.